This will be a very queasy journey for some people. However, I moved here about 13 years ago, and when I got here, I had no doctor, no dentist, and that went on for about 6 or 8 months, and finally decided I should get some blood work or something done. So driving up the road, I noticed there was this UPenn house with doctors in it, so I stopped by, made an appointment, came back, spent about 40 minutes in the waiting room, another 20 minutes in the little 4x6 cubicle with your shirt off, and then the nurse came in, took some blood. Another 20 minutes went by, the doctor came in. He told me how great they were and that they have their own lab, so I can come back the following day and he'll give me the results. So I came back the following day. I spent another 45 minutes this time waiting in the waiting room, another 30 minutes sitting with your shirt off, and the doctor walked in with his head down with the brochure in his hand with the files, and he goes, "Who are you?" And I know a lot of people think that Donald Trump was the first to do this, but I said, "Who are you?" And then I said, "You're fired." And I put my club shirt back on, left, which was great, except now I have no doctor and I'm back where I started. So about 6 or 8 months go by and I was in a head-on collision. So now I needed a doctor. So I thought the doctor was wonderful. And I said, "Since I don't have a doctor, will you be my doctor?" He said, "Well, I'm going to inherit you. Let me do some work." And we did some blood tests. He did an EKG. And it was all done. He says, "Come into my office." I walk into the office. And he says, "Well, this is okay. This is okay. I have a question, Bob." I said, "What's that?" He said, "Have you ever had a heart attack?" Whoa. And I'm sitting there pale, and if I hadn't, I probably would have just right then and there. But he said, "I'm no cardiologist, but I think you should go see a cardiologist." So I called up, made an appointment with a cardiologist. And the next step on the road is the cardiologist. And they said, "Well, wear comfortable clothes and wear sneakers and stuff, and come on in, we'll do a stress test." So I get there and I got my running shoes on. I'm not going to run that fast, but I got the running shoes on. I got the sweats on, and they hooked me up to all diodes and biodes and mean, nasty, ugly stuff all over your body is hanging off. And he shows me the first 8x10 glossy 10 monitor in the Delaware County, and we get on the treadmill, and we're going for quite a while, and we're walking, and it's going faster, and I'm walking faster. It's getting higher. I'm getting higher. It's going faster, and I finally said, "Well, how long have we been on this thing?" He goes, 52 seconds. I was done pretty much at that point. Anyway, they stopped it and collected my stuff up, and he sat me down in his office, and his opening words were, "Bob, have you ever had a heart attack?" It leveled me. I mean, I was just, he said, "Well, the next thing to do is called a cardiac catheterization. And this is the next step on the road, is the cardiac catheterization." So if anyone don't know what that is, that's when they cut a hole in a nasty area of your body and they run fluids through it. And there can be 3 results. First of all, they're going to check all your veins and stuff to see how blood passes through it, if there's any obstructions. The first would be, no, this was all a mistake and you can go right home. Second would be they'll spread it open right then and there with a what are those little doodads, those metal things that they open up and stent. They'll stent it for you right then and there, and you go home. And the third is they hold you over for further consultation. So I chose door number 3. And the heart doctor comes in and he says, "We're going to have to do open heart surgery." And luckily it's the year 2000 and there's not that much on the internet at that point, so I couldn't read a whole lot about it. And the first step in that is they make an appointment for your surgery, and that was like to be 19 days later after this whole thing happened. And I guess about 4 or 5 days before, they send you on a dry run, so you know where the place is, you see where you'll be staying, and all that good stuff. And then You got to get there at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I get up at 4:30, and my wife is with me, and my kids come up in case, you know, whatever, that doesn't work out so good, but we know I'm here, so it didn't work out. But anyway, the kids come up, and we're on the road. We get to the hospital, and we walk in, and they go, "Who are you?" I mean, I worked up all the courage in the whole world to make that trip to the hospital. They didn't know me. They had no record of who I am. The doctor's nurse forgot to call the hospital. So we rescheduled it for the following day. Yeah, this is a road trip. And so the following day, this is deja vu. We do the whole thing over again. And get there, we go to surgery. Now, this next little part of the story is a little bit of hearsay, because I was in surgery. But halfway through surgery, now my wife and my children are out in the waiting room waiting, in the special waiting room for open heart surgery. And the doctor walks into the room and announces his heart is beating on its own again, which my wife passes out in the kids' quarter. Just very, very, luckily they were there. And the next step was, it took me probably 3 months to recover from that. And the moral of the story is, if I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. That's my story.